Hey fellas, BradWeen here, and here are my predictions for UFC 135 Jones versus Rampage. It all goes down September 24th at the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. The main event, we have Jon Jones against Quinton Rampage Jackson for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. This is going to be an exciting fight. I'm going to talk to you about what I think the main card fights are going to be and the predictions. First up, we have Jon Jones for the Light Heavyweight Championship against Quinton Rampage Jackson. We have Matt Hughes against Diego Sanchez. We have Nate Diaz versus Takanori Gomi. And it looks like we were going to have Diego Nunes against Manny Gambirian, but Manny had a shoulder injury, and he had to be taken off for the fight against Diego. So right now, as I'm recording this video, he is currently, we're just waiting on a fighter to be announced, but obviously I won't have it up. So I'm going to talk about Ben Rothwell versus Mark Hunt, two big guys. Mark Hunt from the, everybody knows him over in Pride. So let's get right down to it. I'll start off with Ben Rothwell versus Mark Hunt. Both guys are coming off wins. Hunt coming off a devastating knockout win. Excuse me. And also Rothwell coming out unanimous decision victory. This fight's going to go either two ways. Either they're going to bang, or Rothwell is going to take Hunt down. Mark Hunt has like the worst ground game ever. So if Rothwell decides he wants to trade with Mark Hunt is probably going to end up knocking him out. Mark Hunt has such strong hands, you know. But like I said, Hunt's ground game is absolute garbage. So if Rothwell is smart, which he is, he's a smart fighter, he'll take it to the ground. So I say it's going to be a unanimous decision victory for Ben Rothwell against Mark Hunt by lay and pray, unfortunately. Next up, it looks like Nate Diaz versus Takanori, the Fireball Kid, Gomi. I love Gomi. I was so excited when he came to the UFC and his debut against Kenny Florian. You know, Kenny Florian just gave it to him, and I was kind of bummed out seeing that he lost, but I was really pumped to see Takanori Gomi get that knockout against Tyson Griffin. And recently Gomi came off a pretty devastating loss against Clay Guida. Guida, oh man, that guy found his rhythm, and that kid is, he's on fire. But with Gomi against Nate Diaz, if you guys watch a lot of it, Gomi actually fought his brother Nick Diaz in Pride 33, Second Coming, when he came over to the States. And Nick Diaz actually ended up winning that fight in the second round with a Gogo Plata. And in that fight, he just seems so, I don't know, like lazy. It's like you don't know what Gomi you're going to get. It seems like that's the way Pride fighters are coming over here. You don't know which kind of fighter you're going to get. But that was overruled by the commission due to marijuana with Nick Diaz. So it's kind of like Gomi's fighting the brothers. Nate Diaz, on the other hand, he came off an embarrassing loss against Rory McDonald back in April. Like, embarrassing. Rory was all over Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz had nothing. He had no answer for him. But, so, predictions for the Gomi-Diaz fight. If we see Gomi like we saw against Tyson Griffin, Gomi's going to come out firing. You know, Gomi, I think he's on his last leg here. You know, I don't know. I think if he loses, who knows what happened. But then again, you know, Crow Cop up and down. But anyways, Nate Diaz is coming in a big slump here. You know, he's lost 2 in a row. This is going to be a rather tough one. You know, they both got good ground. Nate Diaz's striking is unpredictable. You know, he's all over the place. He's so lengthy, Gomi. You know, he's fast. I don't know. He's good wrestling. It's going to be a tough call. I think it's going to go, it's a unanimous decision or even a split decision. I'm going to have to give it to Gomi. In the end, you know, Gomi's quick. He's fast. He wasn't, you know, the lightweight champion pride for nothing. If Gomi shows up, he'll win. He'll take this fight. He'll take Nate Diaz. Split decision, Takanori Gomi. Now, for the co-main event, we have Matt Hughes against Diego Sanchez. Like, where was this fight, like, 4 years ago? You know, when Diego first came out and he won the Ultimate Fighter, he was just on a complete, absolute, dominant tear. And then he ran into a roadblock with Koscheck and Fitch. He had a great victory over Paulo Thiago and Martin Campbell. And now that he's back with Greg Jackson, you know, Greg Jackson's camp is, I personally think, like, the best camp on the face of the earth right now. He's produced nothing but champions right now. John Jones, fucking George St. Pierre, you name it, he's got champions. Now Matt Hughes, what can you say? You know, he's does what he does. He came off a pretty short, brutal knockout loss against BJ Penn back in November of last year, 21 seconds in Detroit. But I think, you know, hands down, Diego's just going to wipe the floor with him. Diego's so much faster. He's so much more talented than Matt Hughes. Matt Hughes, to me, is just a one-trick pony. Just pick him up, slam him, lay and pray. I'm sorry for all the Matt Hughes fans out there. Probably going to get flamed. But Diego Sanchez is just going to be all over Matt Hughes' ass, like, big time. I'm going to have to give a second-round TKO victory to Diego Sanchez. Now, light heavyweight championship, John Jones versus Quinton Jackson. What can you say about these guys? Quinton has seemed like, you know, he's found his mojo. He came off a split decision victory against Leon Machida back in November, and he came off a great win over Matt Hamill, who recently retired back in May. And I think he doesn't have a chance against John Jones. John Jones, I'll say it once, I'll say it again, he's the most gifted athlete in this sport today. He's 23 years old, and he made Shogun look like his bitch. He made everybody in that weight class his bitch. So, no questions asked. John Jones is an amazing fighter. He's gonna blow through Rampage. Rampage has he has a puncher's chance, I guess, because we haven't really seen, you know, how tough Jones's chin is, because Jones has been all over his opponents. He's a smart fighter. Jones will not give Rampage an inch. There's no way. He won't. As soon as that bell rings, you know, they'll both come in. Rampage will do his intimidating stare. He won't phase Jones. You know, Jones will be too much. Jones will be all over Rampage. And I think it's going to be, the way they are, I think it's going to be a first-round knockout, John Jones, and he's going to be the champ. And I think John Jones is going to be the champ for a very, very long time. So, folks, that's it. That's my predictions for UFC 135, Jones versus Rampage. It all goes down September 24th at the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. Until then, guys, enjoy the fights. Take care.